Right then, so we've had another delivery. Jakey's doing all the hard work. Stephen, shut up. Debating whether to put a skimmer in the pond. Budget was £500. The idea was to have, I use this on my pond, collecting all the muck and all the debris. I'm in planning process. Originally I was building this pond on a budget. Don't think that's gonna happen. 2 more bags of cement. One thing I am super excited to be using. I can build the pond when I can. Get yourself on the mountain tree. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. James the Koi Whisperer, and as you can see today, the sun is shining. But it's been absolutely horrendous this week. I've been waiting for a delivery to turn up. I'm debating on a couple of things, and I wanted to run you through what my ideas are. But to start with, I'm just waiting for these blocks to turn up so I can crack on.
Block Lydia. Pretty sure Mr. Whisperer is watching from there.
Right then, so we've had another delivery. I suppose I've got to get all of this round the back of the house. We got Jacob in the building. Jacob's got his own channel. Channel's name's called Jacob the
Koi Whisperer's son.
Jacob the Koi Whisperer's son. So behind the scenes of the Koi Whisperer, I'm going to get him to move all of this for me. I'm going to let you crack on, boy. Aye. And when it's all done, you can do your bit of filming, because it's going to be on behind the scenes of the Koi Whisperer.
Yep.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Right, crack on then. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the bottom of the video. If anyone can go over and give him a bit of support, I'll be very, very much appreciated. They're wet. Right, best get it through the house before Mum gets home. I've got to pack up the fishing gear as well. Right, so this has been mega hard work. I've managed to lift all of this through the house. I'm cracking on, as they say. I ain't going to take all the credit though. Jakey's doing all the hard work because I've done me back in. So, happy days. Crack on then, son. £10 an hour. You got to make it worth my while.
£10 an hour, you said?
Forgot one block, Jake.
Aye.
Happy days. Well done, son. And so all the blocks are over there. Anyone new to the channel, this is the new grow-on pond that I'm building. I could quite easy crack on and lay all of these blocks straight away, but I'm just debating whether to put a skimmer in this pond, or where I'm going to put the skimmer in the pond. So this is going to be the front looking in from the pond. I'm going to have a pond window coming just in through this section here. I've got another 2 courses of blocks to run on top of this course at the moment from this height, but I'm just debating whether to put the skimmer in and what type of skimmer that I get. At the moment, the total that I've spent is £300. That's including this new delivery. So I had to purchase 40 more blocks, 2 more bags of cement and 8 bags of sand. So I'm hoping what I've worked out, that's enough blocks to finish off the level of where this pond's gonna go. So I've got one return here, and I'm gonna have another return a little bit higher than that. And I'm debating whether to put an in-wall skimmer in the pond here. The budget that I had for this pond is £500. If I get an in-wall skimmer to this pond, it's gonna cost me basically my budget. Like what I've got over here, I don't want one quite the same size as that. I want the same type of design as this pond on this pond over here. But I'm just debating whether to put one in or not. So I'm gonna have to speak to JBR Plastics, see how much they are. Don't know what's going on here today, guys, but I live nowhere near the seaside, and I've got a load of seagulls giving me a load of... Stephen, shut up. That said, basically where I'm at, I'm debating whether to put a skimmer in the pond. If I do put a skimmer in the pond, it's gonna be my budget pretty much, and that's without fiberglass in. So I might have to speak to Mrs. Whisperer. So yeah, before I speak to Mrs. Whisperer, I've got a few other options. I was very kindly sent out from Mountain Tree, one of their pond skimmers. This is a pond skimmer that fits a 2-inch pipe. I think it's a brilliant idea. It's an amazing idea, but for what I want it to do, I just think that the internal diameter of this pipe is going to restrict the flow of water that I'm planning to run through the skimmer that I'm planning to build on the pond that I've got over there. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to use this skimmer, but I'm going to use it on one of the filters that I'm designing. This will get used at a later date. So I come up with another idea of a skimmer for the pond, trying to keep it on a bit of a budget. These connections are super cheap, £2.45, £2.45, and a cage which is pretty much off of a pump that goes into the pond. So the idea, I haven't got the pipe work in there, but the idea was to have a straight connector with a bit of pipe with a straight connector there, which will keep this as a skimmer, rounded off with a 90 on the bottom of that, coming straight out into the pond wall, and then just having this sat there. But I'm super worried again that the restriction on the flow of the 2-inch pipe will not be enough to feed shower filter that I'm planning to put at the back of the pond over there. I'm going to speak to Mrs. Whisperer because I really want to get a skimmer, an in-wall skimmer like this, onto the pond. I just think it will be a little bit better. I think it will be worth me doing because once it's built, what I'm trying to say is I can't change it. Once I fiberglass it, I can't change it. So I'd rather put it in to start with and then I can adapt from it. So yeah, thinking about it, guys, if I run over my budget of £500 and I can only build what I can up until 500 quid, then that's what I'm planning to do. I've had a bit of a think about it and talking about it with the wife. I'm thinking that once this pond's built, I can't change it. I don't think that I'm going to be able to keep the budget at £500. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that my intentions of that when I started was a massive ask. I don't think I'll be able to do that. I mean, the budget of £500 wasn't including filtration. I was very kindly sent out a load of filtration from Mountain Tree, and I know not everyone's in the same boat as me that they're going to get that, if you know what I mean. They're not going to get free media to put into their ponds. I'm a little bit debating what I do and how I do it and where I go from here before I lay all of these blocks, because I'm thinking to myself, there's no planning with this pond. I'm just building it as I go. And don't get me wrong, at the moment, for what I've spent from where I'm at, I think the pond itself is an absolute bargain. So total spent at the moment 300 quid. If I do decide to get a in-wall skimmer, it is going to put the pond budget to nearly 500 quid. I could quite easily use the skimmers that I've got, which I've just recently showed you in the video, by just whacking a 2-inch pipe in the pond wall a little bit higher up from the returns, and that there will just literally skim off the top of the pond. But I want to be able to put a shower on this pond at the back, and the downside of that 2-inch pipe not being submerged in water, I feel that it's not going to be able to have enough water flow over the shower, how much water that I want to put over the shower. So I'm a little bit of a debating video of what I do and where I go from here. And to be honest, what shower I put on this pond, if I buy one or if I build one. I've sort of made up my decision of that I definitely want to fiberglass this pond. That's not going to be the cheapest thing in the world to do. But I do think that it's going to be more beneficial for the pond, and I've sort of decided that I'm just going to keep building it with the money that I've got to keep going forward and doing it as and when I can. That's part of me building this pond. I know there's a lot of people watching me planning to build a budget pond with 500 quid, and I've got to apologise because I don't think that's going to be possible building this pond this way that I'm planning to build it. But I've also decided to myself that it's my pond. I'm going to give you an overall cost of the pond when it's finished. I'm trying to keep it as cheap as I possibly can. There's a lot of reclaimed second-hand materials. There's a lot of items that I've used on this pond that I've bought at a cheap rate, second-hand. And it was really, the whole intention was to show people that you can build a pond on a budget, or whatever. Budget and budget, I think, is two different words. And I don't really want to bodge this pond up. It's something that I've got to live with for the rest of my life. The way that I'm building it, it's not something that I can just take down and take apart. So it is going to change slightly. It's what I want it to do. I'm very fortunate that I make YouTube content. I get paid by YouTube, and I'm reinvesting that money back into this pond to help make more content for myself as well. So I do apologise about the £500 budget that I originally stated that I was going to make, but these things happen along the way of these pond builds. And if I can't finish it for a month or 2 months or however long it takes me to finish this pond, it's not going to hurt. Do you know what I mean? What I'm saying is I'd rather get it done right how I want it, and if I can only afford certain bits along the way, then that's all I'm prepared to do. But I want to make sure that it's done right, so I show you guys that you can build a nice pond, a decent looking pond. Don't get me wrong, a quarantine pond, I know this is a bit of a yibbity-yab video. I could have quite easily bought an IBC for 50 quid, chucked a pipe on it and got it up and running, but I want it to look nice, I want it to run nice, I want it to be nice, and I want to try to make it as nice as what this pond is. It's a lot of yibbity-yabbada, and it ain't the best video in the world that I've ever made, but I'm in planning process, because originally I was like a ball in a china shop and I was just building. But yeah, moving forward on this video, one thing I am super excited to be using is this product from Mountain Tree, which very kindly I got sent out. I actually got sent out 2 of them. Recently I went over to a store and I found some bins that I'm planning to use as DIY filtration. And these here is what I'm planning to put in the bottom of them. I've just got to go back and just get the dimensions really, because what I'm planning to do with these, so this is supplied from Mountain Tree and it's called the Air Bubble Stone Disc. And what I'm planning to do with these is sit them in the bottom of the bin and have constant air running through my media. The media that I'm planning to use inside of here is the Lotus Root Bacteria House 2. I've used these in my shower filters and I think it's absolutely outstanding. I highly recommend this product. It's something I feel super passionate about sharing on my channel. Not just because Mountain Tree sent the items out to me, but just the pure quality of this media is outstanding. In the first sort of chamber that I'm planning to put in is these spiral brush from Mountain Tree. These here have got like a star head on the end of them. They're 1 meter in length, and I think because I've got 6 of them, I think I'll be able to fill up one of the bins, the first bin, and use it as like purely mechanical only. And I can make up a chamber in the bin and sit 6 of these bunched in, so the water has to rise all the way up through this whole design, collecting all the muck and all the debris, and they're super easy to clean just by having these hooked on and off. The second stage of filtering on the DIY filter that I'm planning to build will be using this filter mat. As you can see in front of you, I use it in the top of my showers. Mountain Tree unfortunately hasn't sent me any of it yet, but they did tell me they're going to send me some in the future. So I'm planning to stack this all in the second chamber. And the last 2 chambers, I'm going to be using the 2nd edition Bacteria House Extra Large 2 in the last 2 chambers with the Air Bubble Stone Disc, basically pumping oxygen through all of this media. And I believe that it's going to give me fantastic results. Well, you can just see, guys, see the spiral effect down through the actual media itself. Well, as the water's trickling down through all of this media, it's absolutely amazing. Massive shout out to Mountain Tree for sending me out these items so I can have a play around and design my own filter. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go and purchase a couple of these bins. A couple of people told me that I can get them cheaper, different places. So I'm going to have a little bit of a shop around, see if I can get them cheap as possible. But I'm also planning to use the Lotus Root in the shower filter that I'm planning to design or possibly even purchase. I'm not really sure on that, but that said, it's all fun and games. Yeah, I want to give a massive shout out to Mountain Tree. Obviously, I'm building this koi pond and all of this media is going to be absolutely outstanding. I'm going to get some fantastic results from it. I highly recommend it. It's what you call the absolute hammer. Get yourself on the Mountain Tree.